Hi guys, so today is, I guess I should start introducing myself at the beginning of every video. Matt McNair here in Braxton, Mississippi. It's a little village. Yes, it is legally a village. We still have those in America. About 20-25 miles south of Jackson, Mississippi. And I haven't recorded in a few days. I took Sunday off, and yesterday I went out and hit up a couple churches I used to work at, see if they were interested in any pressure washing. I'm gonna go hit one up tomorrow, or today, in here in just a little while. And haven't activated my business page yet. I know I probably should have, but I want to make sure that I at least can guarantee somebody that their house will be clean when I get done. Sorry, my dog is getting into stuff he shouldn't have. But I want to make sure that I will actually be able to give them the product that I'm promising before I go and promise them that. So today, what I'm doing right now is testing out higher proportions that I can control. I've got a 1-to-4 ratio right now in a pump sprayer, and I'm on the back side of my house that I left dirty for just this type thing in case I needed to test some more. And so this is what all of it looks like just a second ago. And at a 1-to-4 ratio, I'm using 10% bleach, just regular pool from Walmart. It is, as long as the bottle says 10% sodium hypochlorite, you're right. You're in the right ballpark for what you need. I haven't found anybody that sells 12.5 around here yet. But most of the places I've called say, I don't know if we sell that. So I'm probably gonna have to walk into those places and actually look at their supply to see what they're selling. But I knew Walmart had a 10%, so I went and got that. And I'm doing a 1-to-4 ratio right now. So I've got, or maybe it's, 1-to-4. So I've got 1 part bleach in this thing, 3 parts water, which cutting that down gives me 2.5% coming out of my bucket, which is real hot, but I wanted to start with something hot that I knew would work just to compare for when I cut it. And so this is what it did look like. You can see all this junk right here. And this is what it looks like before I rinse it. So you can see all of it. I've already rinsed my skirting here. It has come out perfectly, just like I wanted. I'm about to rinse my vinyl siding. It's all vinyl, but this is my actual siding. I'm about to rinse that, and I'm gonna record that real quick. So let me get my little, and I'm not using my machine. This is the only thing I'm using, so that I can actually, so I can know, if just no pressure or anything is gonna work, or if I need to put a little pressure. I did have to put a little pressure on the skirting here. You can see a little spot right there that I didn't put enough pressure on. I'll go back to that in a minute. But here we go. So this is just, oh, my little set got off. You better go on. Hey, go on. Yep. Don't need you drinking all this stuff. And I am gonna flush all this so that they don't get into it. Just for you animal lovers out there like me. So here we go. So now all I'm doing is rinsing. And got to put a little pressure right there. That's okay. I don't mind having to do little spots like that. These spots up here that probably need pressure, it was right at the top of my reef spot. I probably don't have as heavy of a coating on it. Those spots right there and right there. But it is rinsing off beautifully. I do have to put a little pressure right there. but it's coming off. I mean, even if I've got to do 2 coats because I wasn't able to get it on heavy enough or something, I'm fine with that right now. I just want to find out what's going to work for me at first. And that spot right there is actually a spot that has been rubbed against by something else. It's not actually, that little spot right there is not actually crud. It is a rub mark. So there's no getting that out unless we repaint it. Well, maybe it's not a rub mark. I thought it was. Anyway, but yeah, it's rinsing like it should. And if my recording is bad, my video is bad, not getting everything that I'm doing, it's because I can't constantly look at the camera. And I apologize for that, but I'm trying to make sure I stay with it as best I can. And this is just to show y'all how this stuff is supposed to work. That you're not supposed to have to put too much pressure. I mean, there are going to be little spots like this. You got to put a little bit. And then this stuff comes right off. And this, not doing it with a hose and, little pump up sprayer, but this is what I've been trying to achieve with my machine. I am going to cut these. I am going to cut the mix a little bit so it's not as hot, to see how soft we can go with the mix and still get the result we want, and not have to spend, an hour per wall of each house that we do. But it's working quite well. Even this window, that didn't have a lot of crud on it, but it had some. The spots that I did hit it is coming right off. So I'm pretty happy with this right now. I would love to be able to do this with just my machine and switching out tips. Just because I've got a long enough hose now that will come around. So yeah, we're looking pretty good. I'm gonna get the machine out and I'll show y'all what I did. Well, once I get this next section done with the cut, I'm gonna keep using my pump up sprayer for right now, and just cutting the proportions so that I can control exactly what my proportions. Sorry, I think I got cut off, but I'm gonna keep using my pump up sprayer so that I can control the proportions exactly. And see how low on proportions I can go, still get the results I want, because apparently we've got some extra strong crud here in Mississippi. Apparently it's not rinsing like I want, eating it away or rinsing like I want it to. So I'm gonna keep cutting it, see how weak of a proportion we can make to just throw on a siding, still get the results we want, and I'll let y'all know what that is. So hit y'all back in a little while. All right, guys, so I have sprayed the next section with a cut in half mix. So I was using 1 to 4 earlier, and now with proportion cutting math, it goes down. I used half of it, and that math goes to 1 to 8 once I filled it back up with water. If I'm wrong on that, someone correct me, but I believe just cutting it in half and then filling the rest up with water again gives me a 1 to 8 proportion. And once I'm done with this bucket, I'll actually measure that out and do a 1 to 8 test probably on my father-in-law's house across the yard there, just to make sure that I am getting my math right on that. And these two sets have had the same dwell time. Seems like the same results, so we're good. That's a good sign. We're getting weaker with the same results. That means I don't have to put as hot a mix on here. So, and there's even some spots, I didn't hit this very hard, but there's some red dirt right there from where my dad and I built this porch, or at least majority of it. I still have to finish up the rest of it right here. But luckily I had the skills to do that by myself. But yeah, it's the hardest part, the most frustrating part anyway, not hard, but the most frustrating part is getting under these little lips here. And then if you're not watching close enough, you'll get some lips like this. There's still some under that and under these. But I think with a little bit of pressure, I think it's got enough mix on it that it'll come right off with rinsing it. But also one thing I did is I wet this window down, these two windows down first before I hit them with a mix. Most of the guys that I watch and do my research on how they do it say to wet the windows down first before you spray chemical on them. So that's what I did this time. That one window down there, it's okay. That's our bathroom window, and it is what do you call it? It's got an opaqueness to it. It's all opaque, so it's not going to do anything to the window. Even if it did, we wouldn't notice. It's not a viewing window, and if for some reason it hurts the seal on the window, my father-in-law are skilled enough. We can just fix that. My dad and I are all pretty handy. We can handle stuff like that. But yeah, and I thought, let's see, let me just make sure about this. Yeah, okay, yeah, we're good. So, what would be where my gutters are that is aluminum, and it worked just as well. I think I am gonna have to put a little bit of pressure just to rinse some of this stuff off. You might not can see from this little bit right here, but it seems to work just as well on that. I'm not gonna rely on it on gutters. I know how to clean gutters already. I'm not gonna rely on this stuff. I am gonna actually put some effort into cleaning the gutters. But hopefully for the rest of the house sidings, I won't have to. So we're gonna rinse this. Here we go, and I put a new nozzle on. That way I wouldn't have to worry about the adjuster getting screwy. So, and I was not able to reach all this up here on my gutters because I'm not tall enough. I'm only 6 foot, and that's like 9 feet up, maybe 10 feet. I cannot jump that high, nor can I reach that high. So. And it seems to be working like a dream I've had of being able to do this and support my family. So I'm pretty excited about that. I was pretty bummed over the past few days not being able to get my mix right and figure out what was going on. So I have ordered a new chemical injector that's supposed to be a higher proportion than the one on my machine and higher than the X-Jet. I think the X-Jet I have is just old and worn out, and it doesn't spray like it's supposed to. So I'm just going to go buy another one. The one I got was my father-in-law's. It works for rinsing. Doesn't seem to put out the chemical proportion that I'm hoping, that I would like it to anyway. So I think I'm just going to go buy a new one. Because the adjuster knob on my father-in-law's is broke, come to find out, and I think that's my biggest problem with it, is the adjuster knob is broke. So. But here we are, and it seems this cut in half, 1 to 8, seems to work really well. 1 to 8 on 10, I think it was 1.25. I think. If I'm wrong, correct me. But I wasn't ever like bad at math. But I would sometimes get ahead of myself on math and just be like, oh, yep, that's right. And then everybody else will be like, nope, not quite. So if I have done that again, let me know. But I don't think I have. But yeah, it looks to be doing all right. Now this red dirt is going to be a bigger problem. I'll probably have to actually scrub that. But it's okay. So I'm shooting out 1.25. I was shooting out 2.5 out of the gun, or the little pump up sprayer I've got there. Now it should be right at 1.25. And all you people who are, let me turn this around. So it looks great. If you are experienced in this and actually do this for a living, and I have messed up recently. I actually watched 4 main guys on YouTube, and their channel is Powerful Improvements is the channel, and that's Joe Deary in Putnam, Connecticut. Thank you, Joe, for everything you've taught me, even if you didn't know you were teaching me. Justin with Forever Self-Employed, I watch a lot of his. Thank you, Justin. Zay with Zay Wonder Journal, that's his channel. Thank you, Zay. And I have forgotten the last 3 parts of this to mention Aaron with Aaron's Lean and Mean Academy. Thank you, Aaron. I've learned a lot from you as well. They each teach a lot in different ways. They each teach you about the practice, the theory, and also how to get leads, how to run your business, how to... Aaron does a real good job at teaching how to kick out what he calls the riffraff, and just folks who might be in the area just trying to figure out your prices. And they all teach you about knowing your worth. So thank you guys. You have been a tremendous help in teaching me, even if you didn't know you were teaching me specifically. So now I'm going and, and of all you experienced guys, if you're watching this and you do this for a living and you hear my mixes and you're like, God dang, 2.5 coming out on the house? That's a hot mix. Yes, it is a hot mix. I understand. But it's my house. I'm not worried about it. I know how to fix that stuff. I am not going to sue myself for messing something up like that on my house. My wife might want to. But thankfully I have a wonderful wife who supports me in this, and she understands that this is a trial and error, and she knows I can fix it if I mess it up. So, but then I went down to a 1.25. I know that's still a little hot for the side of a house. I'm going to try and get down to a 1 to 10, or just slightly under 1 to 10, maybe even 1 to 11. And if that works, and I can get my machine to proportion the right way, down to between a 1 to 10 and 1 to 11, that will be perfect, I think. If you see this and you go a little under that, let me know. I'm always willing to learn. And I know that there are a lot of people out there more experienced than I am. So if you've got that experience and you can give me some pointers, thank you very much. I would very much appreciate that. Leave it down in the comments, send me a direct message. But I also have some really cool news coming up. I don't know. I don't want to say what it is right now because it's not a sure thing, but it's a very big possibility. And if it goes through, it will very, very much help us out. And I'm very excited about it. It does have to do with pressure washing. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. So if it goes, I should know by tonight. So if it goes through, I will let y'all know on tomorrow's video. I think I'm going to record tomorrow too. I'm going to try and do this every time I come outside to mess with this stuff or go hopefully to my future jobs. I'm going to try and record something. So thank you for sticking with me. If you have made it this far in my journey so far, I know it's only been 4 days into this journey. But thank you for sticking with me. My video got cut off. Sorry about that. But see y'all on the next one. Alright guys, I don't know why I put an ending on that last little bit. I still have this one last section to do for at least this part of the video. So I cut my mix in half again. and then filled it back with water. So I should be at 1 to 16, which I think is 0.625, 0.675, something like that. I'm not sure. It's 0.6 something. But 0.625, right? Because half of 12.5 is 625. Yeah, 0.625. I had it right. Look at me go. But they've all had the same dwell time, which was 7 minutes. Once I saw how quickly the first section was working, I started doing just 7 minutes, and they've all had the same dwell time. They are all, and you can see, I think the only problem I'm gonna have over here is where I couldn't reach and all this crud under there because I was having to lean over this rail here. But everything under here seems to be doing all right. Doing just fine. We do have some red dirt stains right there, but let's see, that's nothing that little rubbing won't take off. So I'm gonna get my little spray gun, get my dog off the porch. Go on, go on. You need to go on. Yep, there you go. Good boy. All right, let's up. Hang on. Well, just a second. I gotta fix this hose. All right, there we go. That's better. I had the quick connect not completely connected. So, all right, let's flip this back. All right, the rents are up, and I was able to get all the way up on these float gutters this time. I cannot remember what these little things are. They're not gutters. I don't remember what they're called right now. But anyway, this little light does not work. I'm not worried about it. So, but it seems to be working like a dream. And I was told this is called the cascade method. You let it all rinse down from the top, where you don't miss anything, or hit it over to the side like that. Let it all wash one way, so that you get a thorough and clean rinsing. And I'm just hitting each one of these just to be double sure. Double sure, extra sure. Listen to me. Still some crud coming out. I think that's just coming from between those two pieces. Yeah. It's working just like I was hoping it always would. So now, this is less than a 1 to, this is weaker than a 1 to 10. So I'm gonna go actually mix some 1 to 10 between 1 and 10, 1 to 11 mix. And I might even do 1 to 12 with seeing how good this works, so that I make sure not to go too hot on the house. Of course, I should probably want to go hotter than weaker. That way I don't have to do flip over and just rinse better. That way it's all just one process. So, but there you have it. Oh, and I did my door. It's working pretty well. It's a metal aluminum door. So it's doing pretty well. Door wasn't as dirty as the side of the house, but it's still doing pretty well. Look at that. Man, yeah. So, alright. This is the last thing I'm going to do before I go into town to try and get the old church where I was working, trying to get them, catch up with some friends that still work there. And hopefully get them on the hook as a job, so I can get some bigger jobs under my belt for before and after pictures. I'm gonna cut them a deal as well, because I used to work there. I'm just not gonna charge a church, you know, especially, I mean, they're not a small church, but but it's a family that a church family that I already love. Not that I don't love all church families, but it's a church family that I especially love, and they were really good to me while I was there. They understood when I left and my reasonings for leaving. So I'm not going to charge them my full price. But I am going to ask if they would let me do some surface cleaning for them. I think I have my surface cleaner figured out. I think I got the streaking figured out. So I'm about to run into town. I'm actually going to eat a quick lunch first. Excuse me. I'm going to eat a quick lunch first here at my house. And then run into town to do that. No, Coda. Sorry, that's my dog again. Get back. Good boys. I'm going to run in here, get a quick bite to eat. This is a terrible video quality, I know, for y'all right now, because I'm trying to do 11 things at once. But I'm going to run in here, get a quick bite to eat, and then go see if I can't get my old church to hire me to wash some things. And we'll see how that goes. I'll let y'all know when I get done with that. There we go. Finally got that hooked. I'll let y'all know how that goes when I get done. Get back in the car. And well, hopefully they're like, yeah, we'd love to. But if not, it's okay. I did get one church yesterday that I used to work at. I used to work in their daycare. They have a new exec who does all their like financial stuff. He's also the discipleship pastor. He does their like big picture financial stuff. So he said they recently had some of their deacons do some surface cleaning, but he didn't say pressure wash. He didn't say soft washing. He just said surface cleaning. And I saw where they did it in the front. It was a little bit streaky. But I wasn't gonna try and rain on that first time I meet the guy, because he didn't work there when I did. But he said next time they get ready to do that, he's gonna call me. We'll see if we can work something out. So I'm gonna go in here, probably change shirts before I go try to sell the job. But I'll see y'all hopefully with a job after I go see them. So see y'all in a minute. Alright guys, so it is the end of the day, and I did not actually get to do any proportion testing on my machine like I was hoping to do. After I got back from that meeting, trying to set up with my old church to get them try and let me come do some washing, which they're doing a lot of remodeling, inside and outside, and the outside is almost done. So, and they said they'd be interested in letting me come at least wash one of the buildings, probably the back building, because it's not the face that you see from the road. But they are doing all white. They are a Presbyterian church, which is a big Presbyterian thing, is to have an all white building. Once they get that completely done, the pastor said he'd be, very willing to let me come and pay me a little bit, at least, to do. Oh my God! Look like I had a little bit of dinner in there. But to pay me to do at least one of the buildings as a trial run, so that he and the rest of the staff and the deacons can see the product, and if they like it, let me do the rest of it, and put me on a yearly basis to do that. So that's a win for today. And as far as like the back of my house, as now, I do have one little spot you can see right there. Oh, it looks like a little spot right there too. Maybe a couple more that I just wasn't looking at. But it looks like I just didn't rinse as well as I should have. And that is on me. It might be that I didn't have as good a water flow or a strong water flow from my little hose, because it is just a water hose. That's all it is. I might just have to get that extra pressure to get it all washed off. But it did the job. I'm very happy with it. I'm gonna get the rest of this up here and down here at the end right there. When I get my machine to where I want it to be. And the only thing that's not clean right now are the little red dirt stains. Thanks to my pups here. They jump up and put their paws up here and on the door, and so all this red clay is from them. So I can't say I'm dissatisfied with it. I just have to pay better attention to when I rinse, and maybe even rinse it, and then once I get done with one side of the house, do the other, and come back just to make sure and rinse it again if it looks like I missed anything. So it's trial and error. Anything that goes wrong is obviously going to be operator error at this point, since I've got stuff I think figured out. So like I said, thanks for sticking with me and following me so far, and I'll see you on the next one. God bless y'all.